Another Monday, another Saints TV Weekly. Let's get into it. All right. Thanks firstly everyone for watching last week's episode. That was great. It was a bit of a tough week to talk about, but hopefully this one will be a lot easier. Let's go back to last week, before what happened on the weekend, and let's dissect the week that was at the St Kilda Football Club. So when I think about last week, I'm thinking about injuries, I'm thinking about trouble at selection, and that's pretty much what the main bulk of this show will be about, was the injuries that just came out of nowhere and the injuries that were suffered in the game against Carlton the previous week. So we're talking Dougal Howard, we're talking Hunter Clark, and then late in the week, just before selection was announced, we found out that Paddy Ryder was also going to be missing, and Jack Billings had pulled up sore after training earlier last week. So that was 4 of our starting 22 that were going to be out. Those 4 were playing the week before, and we couldn't get the chocolates against Carlton, and we're coming up against an informed Sydney, and then we suffer those injuries there. It was always going to be a tough ask. And the comments during the week, if you want to feel for how everyone was feeling after the Carlton game, go to the comments on Saints TV, particularly the one on Thursday or Wednesday, whenever I posted it about the game and hoping for a response. All the comments there were, we're going to get done by 10 goals. You know, Franklin's going to kick 15. It was just panic stations. That's what it was. I wasn't feeling panicked just yet. I was a bit worried about what Sydney might be able to do to us in the form that they were in. But I had a feeling that we were going to see a response. I didn't think, of what level of response we were going to get. Didn't know whether it was going to be a win or it was just going to be a good game and we were going to go down to a better team. No idea. But what the injuries did bring, and this is the second point of the show, what the injuries did bring was opportunity. Through injury, there's opportunity. And we didn't think that the people coming into the side this week were going to be as valuable and important at getting the win as the people going out. You think, geez, we're coming up against Franklin. We don't have Dougal Howard. Okay, game over. Automatically, that's game over. Dougal Howard hasn't missed a beat since he debuted for St Kilda at the start of 2020. This was his first game that he was missing. Happens to be the week that we play Lance Franklin, who is going pretty hard for the 1,000th goal, and he's in pretty good form himself. He's, I think, the third top Sydney rated player in the second half of the year, behind a couple of pretty good midfielders there as well. So it was going to be hands full scenario for us. It was just stop Franklin, we have a chance. If we don't, it's over. And a lot of people were talking about who could come in. Jake, who could come in? And I was thinking, is Frawley available? Are we going to do a Cleverino? Those sort of guys, are they going to come in? Is Caulfield going to come in and do a job? Do we put Membry back? There was so many question marks. No one knew really what the back 6 was going to look like going into this game. And we look at the ins, and this is the first time in a while that the ins probably outweighed the output of the outs when you think about the win and how instrumental all of these players were. So we'll go from the top. Darragh Joyce came in and played basically fullback, but he wasn't on Franklin. Cal Wilkie can take full credit for that. He was incredible on Lance Franklin. We'll talk about that when we get into the game. But Joyce came in. Caulfield came in. What that allowed was height and flexibility and intercept marking and rebound. So Joyce is a big boy. He's no bullshit. That's what he does. He's no fuss, doesn't think twice about things. He just gets the job done, gets the ball, clears it out, punches it. He's a 1%er type defender. He's not he doesn't have the biggest tool bag of skills, but what he does well, he just focuses on that. And then you've got Caulfield, who a lot of people are a bit up and down about. And we know that he's been in the team this year. We know that his form's been a bit up and down. And Highmore's probably taken that intercept role and run with it and been excellent at it when he's played this year. But Caulfield, and again, we'll talk about it when we get into the game, but he was close to his best again against Sydney. And now you look at the other two. You've got Jack Sinclair, and I talked about it after the Carlton game. Maybe we didn't realise how important Jack Sinclair was to our structure and to our rebound and our attack until he was gone. and he didn't play against Carlton, and our backline struggled. We had no rebound. We had no execution out of the back half to open up the field. And Brad Hill needs Sinclair, similar to how Highmore and Caulfield need each other. They seem to work well together, and Wilkie and Howard, you know, you've got these partnerships on the ground that make the team stronger, and when one of those players isn't playing, that partnership is obviously not there, and that part of the ground breaks down, and you have to try and make up for that in other ways, and sometimes it just isn't possible, and you struggle. So you've got Jack Sinclair coming in and allowing Brad Hill to be a bit more assertive and to get more drive. You've got two running halfbacks that can kick the ball better than anyone on the ground now. That completely changes the look and dynamic of our team. And the last one, and certainly not the least, Dan Mckenzie. Again, a player that was on the cusp of really being delisted or traded at the end of last year. No one would have thought that when D-Mac doesn't play, we struggle. He brings this physicality to the contest and this, I don't know what the word is, but he's got this elite endurance. He doesn't stop running. He doesn't stop chasing. His ball skills are actually getting better. He's got great hands. When he goes for a mark, particularly a contested mark under pressure, he holds those marks. That relieves the pressure around the ground. When we've got blokes like that aren't the biggest and aren't the tallest, but they can do that, again, it changes the way we play, and it changes how confident we are with our game style. Dan Mckenzie brings something that no one else in the team has. There was an instance on the weekend where he intercepted the ball, kicked it to King, and then we had a shot on goal. And that doesn't happen unless Dan Mckenzie is switched on and ready to intercept the ball and go for it at the perfect time. And he's done that on more than one occasion this year. So Dan Mckenzie was massive. Look at those ends, guys. You've got Joyce, Mckenzie, Sinclair, Caulfield. Three players there that, you know, not the superstars of the competition, let's face it, in Joyce, Mckenzie and Cough. But they all played an important role in the performance on the weekend. And then you've got that class from Sinclair coming back in. It was a perfect set of ends for me. You needed players to come in and just play their role and not make it too complicated, because we didn't have room for error. We didn't have margin for error, and those guys knew that, and they played their role perfectly. So that was fantastic. So I love that out of the injuries, not only have we found these blokes coming in a role to play that benefits the entire team, but we've also unleashed Connolly, Burns, and we'll get into Sharman because that was very exciting as well. So let's get straight into it, and let's talk about the big win against Sydney on Saturday night. What a performance that was, guys. Saints 93, Sydney 64. That was the ultimate team performance. That was the same level of intensity and execution and clinicalness, if that's even a word, that we showed against Brisbane 3 weeks ago. Everyone played their role, and I mean everyone. And I'll put my hand up now, and I'll say that I was surprised that Dean Kent wasn't dropped. I thought Ben Long was stiff to be dropped. But Dean Kent, he epitomised what the whole team meant, what the whole team was about on the weekend. His stats here, 15 disposals, 3 goals, 12 kicks, 7 marks. That was, I think, top 3 on the ground. 4 tackles, 325 metres gained, and 2 direct goal assists. I think that was more than anyone on the ground. Jack Steele only had 1. Dean Kent really did epitomise what the club stood for on the weekend. It was just, everything was on the line. And I know some people are going to comment and some people are upset that, why wasn't this like the week before, Jake? Why didn't we do that? Why didn't we play with that level of intensity? I don't know the answers. But all I know is that the team loves playing against some of these better teams. We've beaten Brisbane now. We beat Richmond. We love a challenge. And that's the good thing and the bad thing about this year for us, is that we love playing the top teams and not having that pressure on us, not being the favourites, not having that level of expectation like we would playing a Carlton on a Friday night when the odds are in our favour. We don't like that situation, but we loved the situation we were in on Saturday night because we're not the hunted, we're the hunter. We hunted Sydney. We laid 67 tackles to their 45. We laid a whopping, I think, 19 or 18 tackles inside 50. Couple that with 18 marks inside 50 to 6. That is a domination. 29 points probably doesn't do it justice when you've got that level of dominance in tackles and in marks inside 50. And that's 2 weeks in a row now that we've had 18 marks inside 50 and 17 marks inside 50, which is above the league average. So when you look at it like that, you think that our kicking inside 50 is actually improving because the league average is only 11. So we're going well above that in the last 2 weeks. And I have a feeling a lot of that is to do with just a new structure in the forward 50, which is leading up to the ball, Max King clunking them more, which helps because a lot of them would have been contested marks. And the other is a guy by the name Cooper Sharman. The Sharmanator, the Sharman the Showman, Cooper Trooper, whatever the hell you want to call him. Fantastic performance on the weekend, mate. That is exactly what we could have asked for. More than what we could have asked for. He's played 5.5 quarters of football and he's kicked 4 goals, 1 or 4 goals, 2 in that time. The guy doesn't stop moving. And what I love is that he knows that he's a light frame. He knows he doesn't have the strength of Membry, the strength of a Marshall, even a King at the moment. He's only 2 months ago, he was playing seconds reserves football, I think. And for him to develop and to know his strengths, which is movement, which is player smarts, which I loved, he identifies the space. His first goal, look at it. He knows where the space is. He leads into it. The player trusts him to make a contest at the very least. What does he do? He marks it and he kicks accurately from a tight angle. I reckon he's going to be probably our smartest forward for a long time. The way that he moves, the way that he leads with the ball, he zigzags in and out of leads to distract players. And what that does also is open up space for Max King, Tim Membry, Marshall, whoever the other tools might be playing down there at the time. It allows them to have a good run and jump at it as well. I think the fact that we've been able to blood players like Connolly, Burns, and now Sharman, to me, gives me more trust in our development team. In Highmore as well, you could even put him into that category. They've come in and they've been able to play not only a role, but a really important role in some important wins. And Connolly showed signs again. Burns showed signs again. But this week it was Sharman. And Sharman, I'm really excited to see what happens in the next couple of years. Once he starts putting on some muscle and getting even more confidence in his ability, he's going to be a very good player. Maybe it's going to be King and Sharman, the two players that complement each other. And you look at it, they have different styles. Sharman is a lead. He knows he can't run and jump in packs, although he did take a great contested mark early in the game on the weekend. And then King is the pack smasher, the powerhouse forward that we've been looking for so long. So I love that they have different facets of their game that we can benefit from. The lead up or the pack mark. They both look like good set shots at the moment. They've both kicked straight in the last couple of weeks. So I'm absolutely loving that. And that is probably my top highlight from the game, apart from the overall performance, was Cooper Sharman. Now the other one is Jack Steele, our Lord and Saviour. Another 3 votes, I reckon. Another stellar 10 coaches votes game. He's had 34, he's had 6 marks, 7 tackles, 6 clearances, 300 metres gained, 1 direct goal assist. The guy is unstoppable at the moment. If people talk to you during the week and say, Bont's better, Petrarca's better, this and that, Oliver's better, this guy does everything. They are all very good at certain parts of the game, attacking-wise. This guy is number 1 by a fair way on tackles. He's number 1 for the AFL fantasy points, averaging over 150 a game. This guy does everything we could have asked for. And even though he's that quiet and reserved captain that at times when we've lost, I've thought maybe that's a problem, he's close to one of the best captains in the league. No one leads by example better than Jack Steele. The other highlight was definitely Rowan Marshall. We all went into this game a bit worried because of Paddy Ryder missing and the form of Tom Hickey. But again, a player that just stood up, a player that knew it was his time to go, to stand up and be the man. And he did that. He had 25 disposals, 12 in the second quarter, the most of any ruckman in the comp this year. And 29 hitouts to go with that, and 332 metres gained, and 8 clearances. So you look at Steele, you look at Marshall, and you think those are the top tier players, but it goes all the way down to the bottom. Mckenzie, Sinclair, it goes Dean Kent. These players were very important. Cal Wilkie, on Franklin, Caulfield coming in and doing a job, Brad Hill supporting Sinclair in the back half. I probably missed a number of players there, but everyone had a moment in the game where they needed to go, and they did. And that's what the performance was about. It was the ultimate team performance, and it made all of us extremely proud watching the footy on Saturday night. Now, in terms of VFL, there wasn't VFL this weekend. It was postponed, so there's no need to update on that end. I think the round this weekend is still being organised, so I'll let you guys know when that happens. In terms of other news, the one major talking point apart from on-field was the news from Dan Hanbury, that Dan Hanbury has decided to enter 2022 on a significantly reduced contract after renegotiating his final year of his deal, which was guaranteed until the end of next year. So from all the news last week about him wanting to retire, or the club at least asking him to retire, that's complete rumours, just crap. This is what's happening. He's playing his final year of his contract, but he's doing it on a significantly less salary. And what that does, and what he did this for, he didn't have to do this, but he's volunteered to do this, is it allows a bit more cap space for the club and more room to move, whether we want to re-sign players on bigger deals, or maybe it allows us to go for a bigger fish like a Ben King or a Josh Kelly and offer them the money that they deserve and they will demand to get them to the club. So I think that's incredibly unselfish of Hannah's. I know some people watching will be really frustrated that I'm even saying that. But the truth is, he's on a big deal. It wasn't his fault. He got offered that money. You just think about it in your own situation. If you go for a job and you get offered heaps of money, and maybe it's more than you deserve, you're going to take it anyway. Absolutely. But the fact that he's gone and thought, I want to help this club in more ways than one. I'm not getting on the field, so what's the next best thing? I'll help him financially. So what am I going to do? I'm going to cut my salary. Don't know by how much, but it's a significant amount is what I've been told. And I'm going to support them by allowing them to be a bit more flexible in the off-season with trades or with re-signings. That's awesome from Dan Hanbury. I have heard that there is a bit of a story that he will play against Geelong on the weekend, which would be huge. So we'll see how he goes during training, but I'm hearing some whispers that Hannah's might come out of nowhere and be in the team when we run out at GMHBA on the weekend, whenever that game is, which is still yet to be announced, I believe. And lastly, the other news to come from the week was the AFL membership totals. So I've got them in front of me here, and this was great for us. 2021 club membership ladder, West Coast 106,000, Richmond 105, bit of a gap, Collingwood at 82,000, Essendon 81, Carlton 81, Hawthorn 77, Geelong 70, Adelaide 60, Port Adelaide 56, and then the Saners 55,802, ranked 10th in the comp out of the 18 clubs, and that's up from our 2020 tally of 48,588. So that's awesome, Saners. Great job re-signing, and for all the new Saners jumping on board, hopefully we can repay the faith and get back into finals either at the end of this year, which would be unbelievable, or most importantly, 2022, that's the year where we can really hit the ground running, hopefully with limited injuries, a better fixture, more consistency, and really shake up the competition there. But for us to be at 55, above Melbourne, above Sydney, above the Bulldogs, who are top of the ladder, above Brisbane, who have been in finals the last 3 years and prelims the last 2, that's a fantastic effort. And we're not far off Port on 56, and I reckon we can catch Adelaide on 60. So for us to be under the Collingwoods, the Geelongs and Hawthorns marginally is incredibly impressive for a club that's supposed to be a small club, or at least is treated like a small club, but we know we're not. Imagine if we'd made finals this year and, even dream next year going on and getting deep into finals, where the club can go, because the club has got a big supporter base, a massive supporter base. We know that. But it's just the lack of success over the years that's really kind of given everyone that view that we're not a big club, but we are. So this is a great start, 55,000, but I really do have a feeling that we'll reach 60 very soon, whether it's next year or the year after, who knows, but we're only on the up. For us to be up 7,000 from last year is awesome. So hopefully, despite the way this year has gone, Saners, we all join forces, we re-sign again, and we can try and hit 60,000 next year, and that would smash the record from a couple of years ago. So this is a new all-time record for the club. but anything more than that, and it's just going to be record after record after record. So congratulations, Sainers. That's a great effort. Now we've just got to maintain that and support the boys, win, lose or draw for the rest of the year, and re-sign for 2022. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Saints TV Weekly. If there's any news that you want to hear about or that I haven't talked about yet, comment below and let me know. This will be hopefully coming out every Monday, so stay tuned on the Saints TV YouTube channel for more Saints TV Weeklies. My next video on the channel will be the preview of the big St Kilda Geelong game. That'll be up on Thursday night, so stay tuned for that. And then obviously on the weekend, we'll be doing fan cams and we'll be doing a review video for the Geelong game whenever that takes place. We don't know yet, but I'm tipping probably a Saturday Arvo, Saturday night type scenario. So I'll leave you there, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. It's great to start the week after a win. Beautiful feeling to know that the boys got the job done against a very good team on the weekend. So let's hope that they can back it up against another very strong team in Geelong on the weekend. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys, and go you mighty Sainers.